Hello and welcome to Relatively Crafty, a knitting podcast. I am your host, Christy. I come to you from the Denver area of Colorado, where I live with my husband, Ron, our two daughters, Tatum and Delaney, and our tuxedo kitty, Lilu. Welcome. If you're looking for me, you can find me on Ravelry as Cristi-Lael and on Instagram as Cristi-Lael without the dash. We also have a Relatively Crafty Podcast group on Ravelry where we have giveaways and knit-alongs and other fun knitting things. Currently, we are having our Spring Stuffy knit-along, which is going from March 19th to June 20th, the entirety of spring. And you're encouraged to just make, I should have actually called it a make-along because you can make it in any way, a stuffy. You know, knit it, crochet it, weave it, sew it, needle felt it doesn't really matter, just make a stuffy. And just make sure that each one of your stuffies is going in its own FO post because I want to make sure that you have all the credit, all the chances you can to win a prize. And we'll have a prize for the FO thread and one for the shadow thread, although I don't have any prizes set yet. So, you know, there's a couple that I've got as possibilities, and when we're on our trip, I'll probably keep my eye open for something. If you feel the desire to donate a prize, please feel free to contact me on Ravelry. I'm always willing to accept donations. I love donations. I love to be able to share awesome things with all of you. So yeah, I think that is all of the administrative stuff. So let's go ahead and get into the knitting. I have 3 FOs today. Tried to get everything finished before we leave. I just shut the door before I started podcasting because Ron is downstairs and I feel weird about him listening in, but I locked the cat out. I don't know what I was thinking. So now she's got to go around the entire room and make sure that everything is exactly how it was before the door was shut, you know. So don't be surprised if you see her up inspecting the bed in just a few minutes. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm trying to get as much of my whips done before I leave to go to my graduation, and so I've been working to finish things up. One of the things that wasn't cast on yet last week, but was a very quick knit, and so is already finished, is my new hat. If you recall from my haul from the Interweave Yarn Fest that I went to, a couple of Saturdays ago, I got a skein of mode knits in their worsted weight gradient, and I bought it with the plan to make a hat, and I was keen to cast it on right away, and so I did. I didn't follow a pattern. I just knit it up out of my brain. I think I did a size 4 needle and a size 7 needle for the ribbing and the body of the hat. I cast on 100 stitches, which is just about right. I probably could have gone down 4 more stitches for myself if I'd wanted to, but 100 stitches worked, and I just knit until it was long enough, made the hat just slightly slouchy, which is perfect, and I started with the blue, which is my favorite of the color. This is their Shabby Chic colorway, and you can see I ended on the brown. I guess I can go ahead and put it on for you. I wore it. I finished it on Friday, and on Saturday we had snow, so I wore it on Saturday, and it was perfect. So yeah, I absolutely love it. It fits just right. I like the way it looks. I think it is a good look for me. And yeah, this is it. So yeah, size 4 needle, US 4 for the ribbing, 100 stitches, and then size 7 for the rest of the hat. And I just knit until I thought it was long enough, and then did some normal hat decreases. There you have it. I used 63 grams for this, and the skein was 100 grams, so I have some left over. And so I am hoping to use that to make another hat, pair it with something else, and I'll get into that a little bit later when I talk about my knitting for our trip. The other two FOs that I have are socks. And I really wanted to get all of my socks off the needle, and my sock whips off the needles. I almost managed it. I would have, but there were extenuating circumstances, which I'll get into when I get into whips. But I did manage to finish two pair. The first one is my box of socks entry for April, and that is this pair out of Knitterly Things Vesper Sock in the colorway Spring Ahead, which is a gorgeous colorway. This is one of my older skeins that I've had in my stash for a long, long time, and it was so nice to finally knit it up. I did my regular sock recipe, Turkish toe cast on. I did a true afterthought heel 1x1 ribbing with Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, and I used some Wollmeise that I had in stash for the heel, so the red doesn't match exactly, but I think it looks fine, and I'm really pleased with how they turned out. So I will add it to my box, which now has 4 pairs. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the box fills with all of these beautiful Vesper stripies. I love Knitterly Things Vesper Sock. She's been around for like 7 years, and her stripies are always so beautiful. And I like the base that she uses, and yeah, just really pleased with how these are turning out this year. And then my other pair of socks that I finished was the ones that I showed you as a new cast on last week, a current whip. This is the skein that my friend Melissa picked up for herself, Beth, and me. And we each are knitting a pair of socks out of the skein, our skeins. And my socks are done. Here they are. Aren't they gorgeous? I am so pleased with how these turned out. The yarn is called the Dying Arts, and this is in her Fabulous base, I believe, in Unicorn. Cosmic Unicorn? Ugh, I don't have the tag with me. I will put it down here below if I've got that name wrong. But it was basically a rainbow sparkly skein. And yeah, mine, you can see I got some very interesting pooling. And I am pleased with it. I love the way it turned out. Kind of like a micro stripe with a spiral pool. Which is kind of cool. Mine looks completely different than both Beth and Melissa's. I showed you guys the picture last week of Melissa's. She ended up having to rip out and start again, so hers looks slightly different now, but still a much more, what's the word, obvious pool than mine is, but I am still very pleased with how these socks turned out. And I did them just like the others, except for I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel instead of an Afterthought heel. And yeah, very pleased with them. These are going to be fun to add to my sock drawer. I am saving all of the Lolo Did It socks that I make this year, and all of the box of socks, the Knitterly Things socks that I make this year. Those are all being put aside so that at the end of the year I can have, you know, the proper photo of the, you know, nice, clean, crisp, unsullied socks. And so the only socks that are being added to my drawer are ones that are like this, that are not Lolo Did It or Knitterly Things. And that's totally fine because my sock drawer is really overflowing. So it's actually kind of been a really nice experience because I'm not being inundated with brand new socks, but I'm still able to knit myself socks because I really enjoy knitting stockinette socks for myself. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love knitting in all aspects, but knitting myself socks is one of my favorite things. So yeah, so at the end of the year, when I have all of a sudden 24 more pairs to add, you know, with the Lolo Did It and the Niddly things, I will probably go through and kind of cull my sock drawer to make some more room. Or maybe I'll just take another drawer and have a second sock drawer. I don't know yet what I'm going to do. I need to get a better sock storage solution. What I have now is okay. They're in the top drawer of my dresser, which is, you know, a more shallow drawer, and I put them all in there, you know, seated like this in the drawer so I can see them, and that works fine. But I would like to have a better solution, and then I really need a better sweater storage solution, because I've been keeping them in a Rubbermaid bucket, but at this point I need more than one, and you can't really see them. I would like to have a better way to store my sweaters, but I haven't come up with something yet. If you guys have a great solution for that, let me know. So that is all of the FOs that I have, but I do have some whips. I don't know if I've made any progress on this since you guys saw it last week. I don't know that I pulled it out to work on it really, but I do have, I'll just show it to you anyway, my Blue Sands cardigan, which I am knitting out of Woolmiza DK. This is the start of it. I am taking it on our trip, so I should be able to make some more progress on it. I don't think I actually worked on it at all this week, but that was because I was trying to get all those socks done. So there's that. And then the only other whip I have really is my Wandering Rainbow socks. Now, if you recall, last week I had the first sock finished. Let me put it on the blocker real quick. So I had the first sock finished, the Wandering Rainbow, and I had told you that I was not going to put the rainbow on the second sock, that I was just going to make the second sock a plain blue stockinette sock, and I got a lot of support on that, which was nice. Some people had some great ideas. Somebody was suggesting that I put a cloud on one, on the second sock. Somebody suggested a pot of gold, which was a good idea as well. And I might, I don't know, we'll see, maybe do a duplicate stitch, adding that afterwards. But for right now, I have just the leg, and it's completely done. It's ready for the heel, and it's just, you know, plain stockinette. But here's the problem. As I was working on the leg, I thought, wouldn't it be great to do the heel and the toe in rainbow to kind of tie the two socks together? And I have all the leftover minis from the rainbow stripe, but I don't want to do, you know, 2 rows yellow, 2 rows orange, 2 rows red, 2 rows green, because that would be so many ends, and this is a heel flap and gusset, and it would just be a headache. So then I thought, well, you know what, if I could find a variegated rainbow mini, just all the primary rainbow colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, in a mini, you know, all of them together in one mini, and then use that for the heels and toes, or the heel and toe, then that would be perfect. It's exactly what I'm envisioning. So I went upstairs, I came up here, and I looked through all of my minis, and wouldn't you know it, I don't have a single one that has those colors. I have ones that have some of the colors, and ones that are slightly rainbow-esque, but they're different shades, and I really need just like primary red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So I went to my, yarn shop, you know, Colorful Yarns and Centennial, and I looked through all of their minis, and they don't have anything. The closest I got was this Koigu, which is in color P122. And it's close, but it's really not close enough for my taste. So I was like, okay, well, I'll buy this just in case. I can't find anything else. And then I went on to Etsy and I looked up, you know, as much indie dyers as I could to try to find one that had, you know, this, and I couldn't find one. So I posted on Instagram to see if anybody knew of a dyer who did this in a single mini with all the primary colors. Well, I guess they're the primary and secondary colors because we know that there's only 3 primary colors. But anyway, I still haven't found anybody. So if you guys know of an indie dyer that sells minis that have these 6 colors variegated, not stripes, not solids, I need it to be variegated, let me know. Or if you have some in your stash that you'd be willing to sell me, then let me know, because I would really like to use that for the heel and the toe on the second sock. If I can't get it, then I will probably end up using this, but I just don't think it's going to match enough, and that's going to bum me out. So that is why this sock isn't finished. I've put it on hold until I can come up with a solution. I think it would be perfect. I think it would really tie the 2 socks together, and, you know, you get an idea in your head and you don't really want to, like, have to settle. I don't want to have to settle. So hopefully somebody will see this and will have a solution for me. I guess that's it for whips. I guess I'm going a little bit fast. I apologize for that. I'm not trying to, but I guess I kind of am, because we got a lot to do today. Trip's coming and got to get it all ready. And I worked every day this week except for today. I guess I worked Monday and Tuesday. So anyway, speaking of the trip, I can go ahead and tell you what I'm planning on taking. As I mentioned, I'm taking my Blue Sands cardigan. This is my You Sew and Sew bag, by the way. This is her large bag. It's great for sweaters. I will not be taking my Rainbow Wanderer socks. That's just going to sit here. And I will not be taking Noodle, the stuffy that I'm making for Delaney. That's also going to sit here until I get back. I am, however, going to take 2 hat projects. I'm going to make a Kit Kat hat out of the leftover mode that was left from this hat. This is what is left. And then I also went and picked up, my LYS has these knitted wit gobstoppers, which are minis in worsted weight. And they're perfect for this kind of thing. So I needed some more yarn to be able to make a Kit Kat hat. That's the Kit Kat pattern by Andre Sue Knits that I made for both my girls. And there was only like 37 grams, 30, something like that, 37 grams left of this. There wasn't quite enough to make the full hat. And so I got one of these gobstoppers. I got 2 of them, actually. This one, which is in, what colorway is this? Salted caramel. And then I got one in peanut brittle. And I've wound the peanut brittle because I think it's a better match. So that's the peanut brittle here in the center. And then that'll be for the ribbing, and then the rest of the hat will be done with this. And I think it will be a very cute Kit Kat hat. So I'm going to take that, and then I'm also going to take some socks. So this is my next Knit Only Things Vesper sock skein. This is Time and Tide. I love this shade of chartreusey green. So pretty. So this is the May Rainbow of the Month skein from her Rainbow Club from last year. And since it's my May socks, I figured it would be perfect to knit that for May. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's Time and Tide by Knitterly Things Vesper. And then I am also going to take a sock blank, because on my bingo card, which is a knit along that Erin at Bling Your String is having all year long, I wanted to knit 3 sock blanks, and I haven't knit any yet. So I am going to take this stranded, at least I think I am, this stranded sock blank. It's her, what are they called, plateau sock blank in Reef Dive. And I love this colorway, and I really want to knit it up into socks, but I have 2 stranded sock blanks that I bought last year, and she has just recently announced a couple of weeks ago that she's no longer going to be dyeing sock blanks. So I'm kind of like, well, do I knit them or do I save them? But I think I'm going to go ahead and knit this one up. I'm very tempted to grab one of the other sock blanks I have as well, because I have some from Carrie at Creative Obsession, which are gorgeous, and then I have a couple from Erin at Bling Your String, which are also gorgeous. But I think this is the one I'm going to go with. So there will be a sock blank of some sort knit while I'm gone. And then lastly, for brand new projects, I also have on my bingo card that I need to knit Ron 3 pairs of socks, I think, and I haven't started any of those, and so I'm going to go ahead and cast on this for him. This is Grundle Hot Socks Diamond Mit Merino. So it's a commercial German merino blend. I think it is, oh yeah, 75 superwash merino and 25 polyamide. And I think it's going to be cool socks, and so I will make this into socks for Ron. I don't expect that I am going to get all 3 of those pairs of socks done, and my sweater, and the hat, and the other 2 things that I haven't told you about yet, but I want to make sure that I have plenty to work on, and that that if, you know, something happens, I can you know, go back and forth if I need something, you know, like, you know, I need something more. I just want to have options, I guess is what I'm saying. We're going to be driving a lot, and even when we're, you know, hanging out back in my hometown, there's still going to be a lot of driving involved, and Ron does most of the long distance driving, so I'm going to get lots of knitting time, and I want to take advantage of that. The other sock project that I'm planning on taking is it's a UFO. It's no longer considered a whip because it's so old, but I started this fireweed pattern by Rose Hiver Designs like 5 years ago, and finished the first sock last year after having it on the needles for 4 years. It's the most gorgeous colorwork pattern. Look at that. And then never cast on the second sock, and I really want to get the stupid pair done. I won't be able to wear them until next winter because colorwork socks are warm, but I do want to get this second one done, and I figure that if I'm in the car on the road listening to audiobooks or music, then that would be a perfect time to pull out the chart and knit the colorwork. That's one of my drawbacks with colorwork, is that I often don't want to not watch TV, and I have to kind of pay attention to the chart. So I am knitting this out of Hazel Knits Artisan Sock in, I think this is, what is this? Electrolyte. Let's see if I can find the other tag. Yeah, Electrolyte. This is Electrolyte, and then this is Vamp, which is just a really beautiful deep burgundy red. And yeah, I'm hoping to finally get that second sock done. It'd be so great because they're such beautiful socks, and I would really like to have the pair to wear. Finally. Jeez Louise, it's been so long since I knit this first sock. Since I started it. So that is something that I'm going to take with me. And then the last thing I'm going to take with me is another hat. And the reason why I saved this for last is because it's part of my haul. On Saturday was the first local yarn shop day in the United States, which I think is a great thing. I know that they've done that in the UK, and I'm glad that we're bringing it to the United States. So I picked up this. This is Superwash Merino by Ogle Design. I think Ogle. It's ogledesign.etsy.com, and it's another one of those gradients, and it's in perfect Christi colors. So I am going to make this into another hat like this, but it's only 106 yards, so I knew it wasn't quite enough to make the hat, so I picked up another one of those knitted wit gobstoppers in this bright orange that I will use for the ribbing, and I think that will tie in perfectly. So this is another hat project that I will be taking with me. Hats are quick. They're super quick and super fun to knit, and so, yeah. And then getting into the rest of my haul, I have the most recent Hippo colorway, which is Hippo for Mom, which she changed like she did with Hippo for Valentine's. So this is the new Hippo for Mom colorway, the Hippo for Mom 2018. I think the blue is new, and maybe, I don't know. But I'm doing the hippos this year, and I definitely want to get all the new Hippo colorways. So yeah, I got this in Lolo Did It in plush sock, and then I picked up a little Lolo in a new color as well. This is Pride and Joy, which I will use for heels and toes only. So there is that's my May Hippo sock, and I will not be casting that on before we leave. That'll be an after we get back project. And then I mentioned that I went to the local yarn shop day. So I went to my local yarn shop, which is, as I said, Colorful Yarns in Centennial, and they had a special colorway that was just for Colorful Yarns and just for local yarn shop day, and it's in some great Christi colors, so I grabbed it. It is by Independent Street, in their Super Sock base, and the colorway is Colorful Yarns LYS 2018. Look at how bright it is. It is truly that bright, and it's, you know, orange and highlighter yellow and a little bit of pink, and I absolutely love it, and I'm definitely going to be making this into socks. So even though we were taking my mother-in-law out to the museum for her birthday on Saturday, I made sure to stop by the yarn shop before we left so that I could get the skein of that. Then somebody awesome mentioned to me on a recent podcast in a comment that Mary Maxim had Croy socks, Patton's Croy socks on super discount. I think they were $3 a skein, $2.99 a skein. They're 50-gram balls, so you need to buy 2 to make an adult pair of socks. And so I got 3 socks worth for less than $20, and yeah, I couldn't pass that up. I mostly am going to be using these for Ron. First, I got this one. This is Landscape Stripe. And then also for Ron, I got this one, which is Bramble Stripes. There's a purple in there. I don't know if you can see the purple. There is. It's purple and green and a couple of greens and black and white. And then for me, I got this one, which is Sweet Stripes. I just liked those colors. So yeah, I'm trying to really try out more of these commercial sock yarns as well. Yeah. Then lastly, I got something that isn't yarn. I think it was on the Grocery Girls' most recent podcast where they were talking about Big Blue Mama baskets, and that there was a coupon code, and I would encourage you to check out their most recent podcast and get the coupon code because it was a good discount, and these baskets are amazing. These are all hand woven in Ghana, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, Bolgatanga, Ghana. And they are, so it's kind of like a free trade thing. You're supporting, yeah, it says here on the back, Big Blue Mama purchases baskets directly from the makers. We choose ethical collectives originating in Ghana and pay their makers a fair wage. Every basket we sell affects our makers in Bolgatanga, Ghana in the most positive way. So I'm all about that. Plus the baskets are gorgeous. So I got a small one, which is in colors that I liked and I knew I could use for sock projects. And I think I'm going to keep this like next to my seat that I do most of my knitting in, and just keep a project that's going in it. But it's beautiful. The craftsmanship, rather, use right words, Christy, is amazing, and I'm very, very impressed, and I just absolutely love it. So yeah, I probably will get more because these are amazing, and I would love to support these artisans, you know. I feel the same way about Manos del Uruguay, which is another company that really helps to foster the handmade items in third world countries, and I really like that idea. I think that should be done more. Okay, so that is all of the knitting and yarny stuff. I don't have a lot to say about books, but I did just finish one yesterday that was kind of cute, and I figured I'd mention it. I listened to The Tower, the Zoo, and the Tortoise by Julia Stewart. This is a clever book, and it's fun, it's quirky, kind of a little bit reminiscent of maybe Frederick Bachman, although not nearly as heartbreaking and heartwarming, more quirky, but kind of that same, along that same vein, sort of. And this book was very cleverly written. However, I kind of feel like it was a little bit almost too clever for its own good. It kind of borderline on pretentious. And so I gave it 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it. There were parts that made me chuckle, and characters that I really liked, and the way the story went kind of made me happy. But yeah, it just didn't quite have as much. It didn't capture my heart as much as say a Frederick Bachman or Jasper Fforde book would. And I will say that the narrator did a terrible job on it. He narrated very slowly in a proper British accent, a very nice, lovely to listen to British accent, but he talked so slowly and there was almost no inflection, almost monotone throughout the book, and every character had the exact same voice, which was very similar to the narrator's voice. So he didn't really add to it wasn't a performance. You know, I really like narrators who make it into a performance. They really add so much to the story when they really put themselves into it. You know, Jim Dale, who narrated the the Harry Potter books, among many others, is a phenomenal narrator because he brings the whole story to life with all of his characters and all of his voices. This guy had a beautiful voice and a lovely accent to listen to, but yeah, he just didn't. He kind of brought down the experience because of the way that he read the book. So I would not recommend this on audio, but I would recommend it to be read, especially if you like British humor and you like quirky characters and quirky stories. Okay, then I guess we can talk just a little bit about life. So I graduate on Saturday. Yay! And so we're getting ready for that trip, and that's going to be fun. And we're going to stop off back home and see some friends and family. And I'll be there for my birthday, which is on May 2nd. And we are going to the Huntington Library for my birthday, which is my favorite museum, and it's the one thing about California that I miss. The only thing, basically. So that'll be fun, and yeah. And I started my new job. I had my orientation at my new job on Monday, this past Monday. I'm gonna love it there. It was a great experience. They have so many great amenities for employees. I mean, little things that you wouldn't really think would mean all that much, but it's just like that little touch. Like they have a refrigerator that is filled with cold drinks that of all different kinds. They have, you know, LaCroix water, they have soda, they have, you know, regular water and all these different juices and stuff like that, and it's all there for the employees at all times. And then they also have those special desks that are mechanized, so you can push the button, and then you can have a standing desk, and then you can push the button and you can have a sitting desk, which, you know, helps to keep you more engaged. You know, especially that 3 o'clock slump comes in and you need to like get up and move around a little bit more, otherwise you're going to fall asleep at your desk, so you stand up. And it's also more ergonomic for, you know, for the employees. The chairs are all very ergonomic as well to keep you as healthy as possible. And so yeah, I'm just really impressed with the things that they're doing for their employees to keep them happy and healthy, both physically and mentally, and support them and understand that there's life outside of work, and we all have families and other responsibilities, and things happen. And yeah, they're just really great about all of that. So I really think that I'm going to like it there. And then yesterday was my last day at my previous job, and so it was nice to be able to finish that off, and I was able to finish a project that I had been working on for the past almost 2 weeks, and so it was nice to be able to get that done and know that I've helped out the firm by taking off some of the things that they were going to have to do. And yeah, so now I am ready for my new job, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great experience. So yeah, I guess that is it for today. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday and the rest of your week, and yeah, happy knitting. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.